there's one thing that made an exponential impact in my trading, and that is journaling. So let me ask you one simple question. Are you more likely to go back and journal when you are on a winning streak or when you are on a losing streak? Now, the answer to that is probably winning streak. And the reason for that is very, very simple. It's because it feels good to write down that you followed your plan, and it feels good to go back into your head and relive the moment your take profit got hit. Now, this is a massive problem because you are journaling based on emotion and not discipline. You don't want to go back and relive the moment that your stop loss got hit. But let me tell you something. Just because you lost that trade, it doesn't mean the trade was bad. And how are you expecting to improve on your trading if the only data that you have is from winning trades? Most of the time, these winning trades are good data telling you that you had perfect execution. What about those losing trades? Did you follow your plan? What was your pre-market analysis on those? Why did you execute? How did you feel once you were inside the trade? Were you afraid of losing, and why were you afraid of losing? And how did it feel when your stop loss got hit? These are all questions that you should be asking yourself, but instead you decide to shove all these losing trades under the rug and move on until you get a winning trade and happily type on your journal, followed everything, perfect execution. If this is you, stick around. If this is not you, your journal template probably looks something like this, which is far from good. So let me show you how you can properly journal your trades. So right now what you're seeing is my trading journal template. This is something that took me from a break-even trader to a profitable trader. Now, this is something very, very personal to me, but just because so many of you were asking on a video on how to journal, I decided to share with you guys. So I always start with screenshots. So how the 1 hour looked. You can see here that this is how the 1 hour looked, and I even left a note saying there was a wick at the time on the H1 and not this full body candle. So probably at the time that I took the trade, the price was trading down below here, and there was a wick all the way up here. Then I go down to the 15-minute, then I go down to the 5-minute, and then I go down to the 1 minute. Now the 1 minute includes both entry and exit screenshots. So how the trade looked at the time that I enter, you can see it looks good here, but it looks very bad here just because it hit my stop loss. Then what's next is my qualification. So I categorize these under 4 categories. So winning valid, winning invalid, losing valid, and losing invalid. And these are pretty self-explanatory. Winning valid if it was a trade that you took and it won based on your plan. Winning invalid is if you deviated from your plan and you still took the win. And then the same thing goes for the losing one. So this one right here was losing and it was a valid trade. And then I have thoughts, feelings, and actions before trading. So this is my analysis phase. This is what I want to see before I execute on anything. Okay, you can see here that I said I was bullish initially, but kept in mind of news at 3 p.m. My bearish case scenario was if the H4 and H1 both closed below structure. So you can see here that the H1 closed below structure. I don't have the H4 screenshot because I usually don't put those here. But I just decided in this case to add the H4 close because it was at the same time at this H1 screenshot. So you can see here that the H1 closed below. So far so good. This is what I wanted to see. So what's next? The 15-minute and the 5-minute were already looking bearish. So if we go back here, you can see that this 15-minute already looks bearish. Tap this order block, tap the order block again. And then you can see that this 5-minute is bearish. There's this order block right here. Then there's this order block right here. So this is just a bearish trend to me. So what's next? I decided to wait for those two to close for extra confluence. After the news and new candle openings, I waited for price to form bearish structure. Ideally, I would see a 1-minute bullish order block get disrespected, like the picture above, and a break of internal structure. So I wanted to see These two candles right here get disrespected. So a close below here, which I got and I entered on it, and a break of internal structure. So you can see this is a low, high, and then it breaks the low, and now everything is aligned. So now the H1 is bearish, the 15-minute is bearish, the 5-minute is bearish, and the 1-minute is both internally and externally bearish. I then go into my thoughts, feelings, and actions during my trading. So this is everything that I do and think about while I'm on the trade. So after I enter the trade, I enter a market order and the trade seemed pretty good. I had H1 bearish, 15-minute was bearish, and at the time it seemed like we tapped the 15-minute order block again to go lower. 5-minute was also bearish. It was not the cleanest, but still it was bearish. Then I write down what happened. Price hanged around my entry for a while and then it shoots up. I said, okay, no worries, it can still go higher, but this new 15-minute candle power of 3 worries me. So at the time that this candle closes right here, there was a new 15-minute candle power of 3. And you can see that price went to my stop loss, and this was exactly what I was afraid of. I was afraid that the 15-minute wick would tag me out and then price would go lower. Still, the stop loss would make a lot of sense to me because it is placed on this area right here, and I'm not expecting price to go here again after it tapped this so many times. Again, if you look on the 15-minute, this could be the order block, and then we would close below to go lower, and it would be a winning trade. Now, price ended up grinding to my stop loss, and I started to become angry because everything looked like it was going lower. Still, I didn't act on this feeling and avoided closing earlier as price could just sweep 15-minute highs and go lower. Now, this right here, this is very, very important to me because what would happen before is that I would close based on feelings because, oh, this is going to my stop loss. I better just close here for minus 100 instead of minus 250, and that would save myself $150. Then what would happen after is that price would then reverse and hit my take profit, and I would even become more angry at myself. Then what I wrote down is price ended up hitting my stop loss, and until now I could not find a reason to not enter this trade. So this is very, very good and very, very important. Just because it was a losing trade, it doesn't mean the trade was bad by itself, like I said in the beginning. Next phase is my thoughts, my feelings after the trade was closed. So immediately after the trade hits my stop loss, what I thought about. I immediately went looking for reasons not to short, and apart from a bullish fair value gap on the H4, I could not find a reason for it. I didn't expect this to hold because the 4-hour order block got ignored and the fair value gap was tapped already before. So to me, this was basically, I got the trend on every other time frame aligned with my entry, but there was this H4 fair value gap that was keeping myself from, let's say, shorting. To me, this still falls under a probability loss because I'm not expecting a bullish PD array to hold when every other time frame is bearish. I'm expecting that PD array to go, okay? And then final remarks. And this is the reason why I wrote down that I was annoyed. And here I wrote down, I am still annoyed because of the losing streak. So at this time, I was on a losing streak. And this is why I was annoyed and angry when price started to go to my stop loss. And then I write down, and I've just been getting unfortunate on trades that almost go to my TP and then reverse. So I think 2 days before this, I had a really, really good trade running in good profits. I was trailing my stop loss, and then the next place that made sense to move my stop loss was to break even, and the market tagged me out and then fully reversed. So that made me even more annoyed. So this is the journal template that took me from a break-even trader to a profitable trader. It's not fancy, but it's simple and it does the work. I'm a big advocate of keeping things simple, so I don't have any reasons to skip it. Feel free to steal it. Link will be in the description down below. Should be also compatible with Notion. Hope you enjoyed, and I see you next week.